Alright, I'm so glad I'm back. It's only been like 3 days. But I've been dying to play this. Oh, my controller's still plugged in. Oh. There we go. Alright. So. Where was I? So it looks like I definitely need to rest. And something good in 4 cycles. We're gonna go to Olivra. I'm gonna go do that. Need supplies too. Can I not get supplies here? No? Really? Really? Is it behind this? Alright. I think the hollow is where I can sell processed scrap. Yeah. Let's go do that. We will make some cash here. Ooh, don't want to do that. I should probably try and get some Solheim data as well before I move on. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Green belt, can I go straight to Helion Gate? That's huge. Wow, they're giving me some trash dice. Let's see if I get away with this. Solheim data. 2 -2 energy. I'm gonna risk it. And we're gonna try this. Makes sense. See, I definitely have to get good dice here though. We'll scavenge fuel. Let's get fuel before we do anything else. feeling good. Nice. We got 6. Let's get like 2 more just in case. Why not? Let's try. Oh, I got stress as well. That was bad. Nice. Alright, eat, and then we get supplies here. And it's only fair, it's only fair. And cycle. Cycle. Supplies. It supplies, and then maybe, yeah, just supplies. Let me go ahead and do this one. Jeez. Oh my god, I'm doing fuel? No. No. What a waste, what a waste. Oh, that was bad. I'm gonna use this. My bad. Alright, that's all we need. Yeah, let's get out of here. Oh, before we do that. Yeah. Olivra. Hello, Olivra. Almost there. Ooh, what's this? Another flicker in the dark before waking, and a numbness that follows soon after. You wake slowly and stare out at the flickering stars and the distant rocks of the belt. You let the thoughts of fear or panic wash over you. They pass like the soft dust of the belt, disappearing into darkness. You find yourself once more, as you do every morning, as you will continue to do after cycle until you can't. Am I gonna get another glitch? You wonder what part of you has changed, what system is failing. Your frame is silent, its complaints only felt in ambiguous sensations. The glitches seem random, unpredictable, but also inevitable. They will only increase in number until you reboot yourself. But you do not know what lies beyond that. At least the glitches are dependably familiar. the reboot is anything but. Yeah, this is sad, man. Fuel. Supplies. Things are getting real sad out here. Olivra. So as soon as we do Olivra, we're gonna go back and reboot, I think. Maybe investigate Hexport. Bring Solheim data. We'll do Solheim data. Oh my god. Maybe we investigate Hexport. We'll see how it feels. Oh, good day though. Stop! A shadow figure meets you in the docking tunnel. No saboteurs allowed. Hey kid. Seraphim glides forward and ruffles the figure's hair. Still playing sheriff? Nah, just bored. Xander grins. What are you two doing here? He glides alongside you and Seraphim as you drift through the tunnel. None of your business. Seraphim pushes past. No offense, kid, but you aren't actually the sheriff around here. You pass through the familiar doors and back into Olivra. A surprisingly pleasant feeling, oddly like coming home. You came. Cadence is there in the docking concourse, waiting to greet you. I'm impressed. Seraphim's face immediately erupts into an uncontainable smile. Cadence, he turns to you. You two remember each other, right? Sleeper saved the colony. Cadence's deadpan answer seems intended to cover for Seraphim's awkwardness. Yeah, I remember them. The four of you descend down through the docking tower together and into Olivra itself. The colony looks much the same as when you left, though you pick up from Cadence that changes are coming. Carmen's back with a vengeance since Darkside. Cadence smiles. He's all about expanding and improving the colony, which is why I asked you to come, Sarah. The nickname slips out, but both Cadence and Seraphim clock it and glance at you. As you reach the core of the colony, you see the increased activity. There are more colonists than you remember, and they move back and forth with purpose, carrying crates and tools, the chatter less than usual. We need all the help we can get to sort the place out. Cadence notices you watching the stream of freight and people. Carmen wants to do some kind of event, an anniversary, I think. Honor the founders and all that. Gonna be a big party, Xander grins. Can't wait. So, Cadence looks between you and Seraphim. What do you think? Up for some colony mandated manual labor? She grins. Seraphim gives you a sideways glance, observing your response carefully. How could you say no? Let's get to work. Easy work. Whoa! Oh, I think they're all gonna do the same one. Yeah. So, that one's danger. This one's risky. This one is also risky. I think we'll do the danger one. It might be the fastest one. Stack shift. Working together to run the farm. Stacks is a job shared by many colonists. Everyone contributes and the colony makes sure they are fed, so I can get energy back there. Sorting shift. On Olivra, the colonists all take on useful jobs. Sorting through gathered scrap for useful building materials is one of those jobs. And then we have refinery shift. To help keep it independent, Olivra has set up a small hydrogen refinery, but it must be run by volunteers from among the colonists. Alright, let's do it. Getting 2 at a time, it's not bad. You work hard and quickly alongside the other volunteers, and the yields are good. Alright, we will try to use this. Oh, we got one. The sorting is tedious and tiring. The simple work doesn't offer much risk. You do what you can. But I don't know if that was a fail or buzz. Negative outcome. You struggle to keep up with the others and waste a lot of energy and time. The shift is exhausting. Ew. Let's get back fuel. I think it's every 4 cycles I'm gonna get an extra glitch. Sad times, man. Is this giving me... No, this one will give me... No, I wonder if this is giving me supplies. If so, that's a good sign. I'm gonna risk it. Feed the cat. Let's see. No. Let's try this again. Ooh. Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Good day, good day. Let's see if I can get one lucky. And energy. The farm stacks are the heart of Olivra, and you are rewarded for your work there with a delicious meal. What do I get from this? Energy as well. After the sorting shift, some of the other colonists share some simple food and you are invited to join. I think they were all 2. So really, I'll try this, do some energy. It's fine. And get back energy this way. Yeah. So I'm always gonna get energy back, which is cool. Alright, inside cool. use these two first. Nice. Easy. The past cycles in Olivra have been busy enough to take your mind off most things. All the heavy lifting and manual work has been a welcome distraction from the looming spectre of the second reboot, and the good mood of the others has been infectious. Seraphin has been almost annoyingly upbeat, his relationship with Cadence the worst kept secret in the colony, but working alongside them, it's hard to ignore their deep feelings for each other. Xander has been happy because he has something new to rib Cadence about, and Seraphin, with his self-serious manner, is an easy target for pranks and teasing. Xander also hasn't been able to stop talking about the party, which he already seems to have decided will be one of the highlights of his youth. But now, finally, the cycle of the party has arrived. The canteen is done up with hanging light strips, waving gently in the asteroid's microgravity, the strips themselves salvaged from the emergency lighting of wrecked starships. With the work stopped and all the colonists yet to arrive, you find the reboot feeling your mind once again, growing like a shadow. Something on your mind there? The voice takes you by surprise. Who's this colonist? Pragmatic elder. You turn to see a colonist you haven't met before, an older man in some sort of supportive chair, his hair shot through with grey and his face sallow. Sallow? Suspicious words.
Sallow.
Of white-skinned people, yellowish and looking unhealthy. Oh no. Oh, he's a bit weak. He's got tubes in him and everything. Didn't mean to startle you. My apologies. His pale eyes scan you. It just seemed like you might need some company. There is a strange look in his eyes that you can't quite place. He is looking at you like you have met many times before, but you have never seen him before in your life. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? He gestures to the canteen with its hanging lights, his chair propelling him forward with little puffs of air. The young people did such a good job. I wonder if this is the guy from the guy that came to speak with man, I forgot his name. I think he's the first leader we met on the flotilla, right? That guy. On the eye. Warms my heart to see it like this. Never thought this rock could ever be a home. He looks sideways at you. Have we met? Us? He shakes his head. No. Sorry if I'm being a bit too familiar. He coughs a few shallow coughs. Just, you remind me of someone who did a lot for me. But let's not chat about me. I want to know about you. He turns his chair a little. What's eating you? The way you were staring at those light strips. It was like they were about to leap down and strangle you. His chuckle becomes a cough. I'm afraid of the future. I can see that. I am myself most days. He sighs. After a certain point, you realize it isn't going to get better. So all you have to wait for is things getting worse. This body of mine is on a downward trajectory, that's for sure. But it's mine, and I've grown into it. And I guess, in the end, I like it because it's mine. And it'll carry me all the way to the end. Then go on becomes something else entirely. I don't know why, but that thought always helps me. He coughs 3 times, hard, like gunshots. The colonist squints at you. Sorry, I'm not good with reassuring people. I just remembered that. He smiles, but I do like chatting. He looks back at the light strips. Really lovely, isn't it? Just beautiful. You look back at the light strips now, as the hum of people arriving filters into the canteen. There is something in the air, anticipation, the sense of a rare moment passing through, something to hold on to and then let go. The light strips really are beautiful. When you turn back to the old colonist to agree with him, he is already gone. Hey, sleeper. Seraphim pushes through the now gathering crowd towards you. Got you a drink. He offers a pouch of some amber liquid. Hey. Cadence comes up alongside you and hugs you with one arm. I wondered where you were hiding. She smiles warmly at you with her infectious smile. You think about mentioning the old colonist to her, asking her about him, but Seraphim hushes the two of you. Carmen is about to start. You follow Seraphim's eyes to the front of the canteen, where, above the heads of the now quite large crowd of colonists, Carmen floats surveying the room. We meet this cycle. Carmen begins, his voice loud but clipped, formal, in a way you haven't heard before. To first remember those founders of this colony, those lost and still with us. I will never forget the distress call that brought me here, to the wreck of the Pilgrim Seed. I will never forget the scenes that greeted me, and I know some of you were there too. A rumble of acknowledgement moves through the crowd. But I also know that many of you weren't, that many of you came here to seek refuge from other troubles, and I would like you to be able to remember, too. You glance at Cadence, her eyes fixed with incredible intensity on Carmen. They look wet in the glow of the light strips. There were thousands of refugees on the Pilgrim Seed, and too many, far too many, were lost. Those from Ember's Step, Ember's Song, Ember's Hearth, those from the Three Sisters, from Erden's Eye. Many are not here in Elivra any longer, taking their own paths across the belt and beyond. But we acknowledge them all, remember them all, lost and found, present and absent, because without them there would be no colony here. Before the wreck, Olivra was a handful of buried bays, a scrapper hideout, a place for old and tired mercenaries like me to hide themselves from the universe and forget what they had done. But when the Pilgrim Seed was wrecked, it brought the universe back to Olivra, and I could not hide any longer. Carmen stares out across the crowd with a hard glare. We built this canteen from the Pilgrim Seed. We built our homes, our farms, our refinery. We built our independence from their failed hope. A rustle of discomfort goes through the crowd. Carmen pauses to let this settle. We should not be ashamed or afraid of this. We will remember this gift. We will build on it, this cycle, and every cycle after. We will thank them with our actions. The crowd mutters agreement. Carmen takes a deep breath and straightens up. A weight seems lifted from him, the weight of testimony. Now, here in this room with you, I will thank them with my laughter. A cheer goes up. I will thank them with my joy, with my celebration. Another roar of approval. We will all thank them as loudly and as chaotically as we can. The room erupts into cheers and applause. Stay still. You watch quietly, not yet ready to be wrenched out of your thoughts and into the celebration. But then you feel a pair of hands on your arm, Cadence pulling at you, grinning and crying. And you feel another hand on your other arm, Seraphim dragging you into the crowd. Suddenly, you are in the thick of the crowd, so many bodies in one room, dancing and spinning and shouting. It is like nothing you have ever seen. You notice the rest of the crowd in the melee, a flash of a familiar face here and there among the mass of colonists. You see Xander being thrown up into the air by a group of different kids of different ages, laughing madly as he bounces off the ceiling. And for the rest of this cycle, you think about nothing else but the joy of those around you, and the joy it instills in you. Oh no. You wake up in your berth, the same light that always shines on the belt shining incessantly through the window. You are slow to rise, slow to begin this fresh cycle. At some point, Seraphim arrives back onto the rig with no indication of whether he slept or not. You find him in the cockpit, leaning in the pilot's chair, looking out at the lights of Olivra and smiling. Good party, he chuckles. Not sure I've seen anything like it. Same. Seraphim laughs again. You really let it all go, huh? He shakes his head. I love to see it. Seraphim yawns and stretches. So, he sniffs. Olivra is all fixed up. Colonists are happy. Blah, blah, blah. It's a now. Not sure. Well, he smiles. Give it some thought. Seraphim pauses a moment, something passing over him that makes him shiver. I heard from Tala. He looks away. Wellspring is still in transition, but the Union Council is taken over. Kirk got what he wanted. The blockade will come down soon, but, he sighs, I'm not sure I'm ready to revisit that place yet. He looks at you and smiles. When I come back to Tala, I want to have something to show for myself, you know? I get it. Family, he shrugs. Maybe, once the reboot is done, once the blockade is down, maybe we can visit then. Seraphim takes a breath. We'll get there. Some cycle soon. You aren't sure if Seraphim is trying to convince you or himself. He stretches, shaking off his feelings. For now though, the belt is ours to explore. Olivra have filled our fuel tank. Olivra have filled our fuel tank. So it really is up to you where you go. Did I do that? Or maybe they did. Okay. It's good. He gets up while you are deciding. I'm going to dig up some breakfast, and he glides out of the cockpit. You take a moment to look out across the tiny lights of Olivra, dwarfed by the crater and the wreck that sits at its far end. Not bad at all, you think. Ooh, I'm looking good now. It's been a long time. Alright. So we can go straight to the sky yards. And we will do that when we come back. I'm thinking we try and sneak this one in. Oh no. The workshop of Cadet's data scraper friend is just as the two of you left it. You remember the cycles you and Cadet spent in here, poring over that dark data, the strange fragments of the drone mine's protest seeded among the cold code. You find the drive where Cadet told you it would be, in a compartment under the padding of a bunk lined with thick shielding that makes its contents undetectable. As you pull the drive out, the metal cold on your hands, you have a sudden urge to smash it to pieces. This object, which escaped Hexport and so many others didn't. Someone, somewhere wanted the data on this so badly that they would spend any number of lives to get it. But something went wrong, some miscommunication or mistake. That's all it was, a tiny slip, and it all fell apart. Now, the drive is in your hands instead. You turn it over in your hands. You know the drive contains Conway access codes, control codes, and perhaps more besides. Data of great value. Data that would win a war. You also know you are sick of thinking about it. Take the drive. You slip the drive into a pocket and close up the workshop. You head back to the rig, and as you do, you turn the drive over in your pocket, unsure what the next step might be. As you glide through the hub, you pass ship fitters and crews, all moving on their own vectors. It seems strange to carry the drive past these people, all of them totally unaware of the threat it might pose to them, to this station. Stranger. That looks like that's the dude that bugged me before on Erlin's Eye. And he's got the game dice as well. Excuse me. A stranger stops you in the passageway with a hand on your shoulder. Can I ask for your help with something? Their sudden appearance shakes you out of your thoughts. You quickly take your hand out of your pocket, off the drive. You look at the stranger in front of you. He is roughly dressed in a heavy coat, but he is otherwise unremarkable. You could have passed him many times before and not have known. I'm looking for something. He looks over his glasses at you. A little lost drive. Who are you? This matter concerns my client more than me. He leans back a little, his voice calm. So introductions won't be necessary. But the drive belongs to my client, and he would be very happy to see it returned. Suddenly, something catches your eye. A set of dice, like those used to play Starward and Stoker. The stranger is playing with them in one hand, turning them end over, end in the station's microgravity. What's with the dice? The stranger looks down at them, as if he had forgotten he was holding them. I must admit, I love to play games to pass the time. I enjoy the chaos of Star and Stoker, with its unpredictable shifts. He spins the floating dice. My brother, however, prefers the systematic progression of Tavla, with its inevitability. I suppose it runs in our family, he sighs, but I won't bore you with childhood stories. Please, let's be direct. He gives you a friendly smile. My search for the drive brought me to the scatter yards, but from here, the trail went cold. That was until you arrived. He pushes his glasses up his face, then the trail lit back up, again, just like that. The stranger moves his hand in his jacket pocket a little, and you see a shape in there, a box-like impression in the fabric. This guy's got a gun. My client never intended these events, you must understand. One of their other contractors proved to be overzealous in an attempt to conceal their mistakes. The result was the regrettable situation you saw in Hexport. But for all that to be for nothing, that would be a waste beyond the original act, piling insult on injury. The stranger sighs. There is much to be gained in a system desperate for peace, for the war to be ended, and wars tend to end when one side concedes. I don't believe you. The truth does not necessitate your belief in it. Only a few possible futures remain for the belt. My client will facilitate one of the better ones. That's why I am here. But if you need additional persuasion, I am authorized to offer you 300 cryo as a reflection of your efforts. The stranger smiles again, his tone never straying from its business-like calm. Now, can you return my client's drive? The stranger's hand shifts in his jacket pocket. You have the feeling this is not a choice you can deny. Break the drive. You grip the drive in your pocket so hard, the casing starts to crack. You see the stranger's eyes flash a warning. You dash the drive against the metal wall of the passageway, splintering it into 1,000 shards that pepper the two of you with cuts and scratches. The stranger shakes his head. A regrettable decision. You hold yourself ready, expecting a retaliation, but it does not come. The stranger simply turns and clunks away down the passage, not willing to waste another word on you. Your transaction is complete. You head back to the rig, and as you do, a weight lifts with each corridor, each junction. As you board the transit shuttle that will take you to Marco's yard, back to the rig, you think of Hexport and what is left of that place. You will never forget what happened to the station, but you will not let it steer your future. Cadet refused to be sucked into that web of secrets, and now you refuse too. There will be no account of Senate Stat's crimes. There will be no reckoning, but there will be a life outside of the future they want for the belt. You know it. Yeah, I don't trust that guy. He was a bit of a dick. In old times, supply yard. Let's fill up completely. Ooh, component error down. Hey. Okay. Alright, that was pretty quick. So now we can go back. Today may be a crazy day. Junie needs one final batch of Solheim data to complete her work on the mainframe and lay the foundations for her archive. Junie is thankful for the data. I have everything prepared. Just give me a moment. You have been waiting for what feels like a long time. Junie insists you can't help, so you find yourself floating in the baking heat of the HEPEP mainframe while she taps away at her terminal. As you do, you can't help but shake the feeling of a presence nearby, one that you are coming to understand as some remnant of Overseer. You don't know if Overseer was ever really a person, but now, with their many selves combined and dispersed, their consciousness expanding to fill the vast space of the HEPEP and its networks. They surely aren't even close to human anymore. You think of them as a ghost, but perhaps now they are better understood as something less mournful, as a system, a process, a thing becoming. The entire station is their body. You can't help but wonder how that feels. And we are ready. Junie hits a key on her terminal with percussive force. It'll take a little while, but she'll be online in a few moments. She looks flushed with excitement. She? Weren't you listening last time? Junie squints at you. Don't tell me you drifted off. I was thinking about Overseer. Junie shakes her head. Then you don't know. She suddenly looks concerned. A voice screeches out of the terminals. It descends in pitch from a squeal to speaking. Then below the mainframe, a flickering projection appears, first as lines, and then as solid light. Oh, they saved her. Welcome, visitors, Warden flickers and warps. I am the Warden. Please provide. The image jerks and freezes, then blinks out. Shit. Junie taps at her terminal. Just need to reconfigure her for the HabHep environment. How is this possible? I found her, or at least an iteration of her, in what we took from the bunker. Don't worry, Junie glances over her shoulder. I've taken precautions. She can't hurt us. The technician is right. Warden's clipped voice echoes through the cavernous mainframe bay. My protocol is operating under safe mode limitations. Warden's blind eyes stare out over your head. Do not be concerned, Officer Dow. Sorry, I'll fix that, Junie chuckles. By the Warden. Archiving was her role in the bunker. She's ideally suited to this, and she understands Solheim networks better than we ever could, Junie smiles. Come on, you have to admit this is pretty cool. You look at the statue-esque figure of Warden, once at the heart of Solheim's intelligence gathering operations across the belt. Could such a tool of corporate oversight ever be used for something good? Look, watch this. Junie turns to the Warden. Warden, provide the last known location of every Solheim vessel above Rigger class in the Starward belt. Immediately, technician. Warden draws a circle with a pointed finger and it expands, filling with bright specks. At first hundreds and then thousands. A constellation of sights. See? Junie grins. This is our future. Built on the foundation of our past. These tools are ours now. You look at the arc of specks, the points of light describing the shape of a long-dead corporation's power. This is incredible. Junie smiles. It is. People need to know what this city, this system is built on. Warden can do that. Expose that. It'll be up to us to reshape the ruins into something new. I knew when I saw her that I couldn't leave her there, alone in the dark. I've been in that dark pit, and I won't condemn another being to it. Junie looks at the placid Warden. Human or not, how we treat her is a test of our own values, of the world we project. Data is not a currency, it is not a commodity, it is the immaterial output of a system, a structure, a society. Okay, how do you pronounce that? Immaterial, not important or not relating to the subject you are thinking about. It is not a commodity, it is the immaterial output of a system. Okay. Junie meets your eye. This will be a place to uncover that system for ourselves. She looks around at the chaotic trailing wires and the floating terminals. Once I've cleared up a bit, she laughs. You and Junie spend a little longer in the mainframe, sorting cables and offering Warden casual queries. Not all of them return useful information, and Junie begins listing out the changes she will need to make. After a while, you both find yourself tiring, heads aching with all the fresh information you have crammed into them. So you close up the core and ascend back through the layers of the facility to Darkside surface. As you do, you feel the history of each strata, the layers that make up this place and the belt beyond. Now, more than ever, It feels tangible to you, as if it contains not only the past, but the promise of the future as well. I like Warden. Warden's chill. Begin reboot. Oof. Let me get a little bit of money, some raw scrap. Do a shift, might be my last shift. If there's anything I needed to do to not die here, I feel like I did it. Look at that. I feel like I did it. Don't know if I missed a contract or anything. Is there a way of double checking? No. Ooh, okay. Wow. Let's do this. Oh. Where do I go? You need to be rebooted to have any chance of surviving, but the outcome is unclear. This step will mean big changes no matter what happens. You wait outside the shop where Bliss is set up and turn Seraphine's coin over in your hands. You are ready. You turn Seraphine's coin over and over in your fingers as you stand in Flicker Row, crowds pushing past on their way to whatever future awaits them. Your fingers glide over the worn metal as you imagine Seraphines have, Talas have, in moments of anticipation. Perhaps others, before the coin came to be Talas, have repeated the same ritual, the same nervous routine. But their fingers were human, born, not made. This intrusive thought makes you slip the coin into a pocket quickly, as if it had delivered a shock. You hear a hiss, and the door of the shop slides open, revealing Ankita. You see her eyes scan the crowds, almost defensively, before she spots you there and nods in your direction. Stay silent. Ankita turns away and disappears into the lights of Flicker Row. You take a final moment and then wheel yourself inside, leaving the glimmering lights and the shifting crowd behind. Bliss is perched at a console. They turn as you enter. Finally, they smile weakly. You were making me think you wouldn't show. I saw Ankita. Oh yes, Bliss looks away. We're talking again. She has a lot to do and she needs the backup. I don't think Ankita does very well unless she's busy, so it's for the best. Bliss shrugs. I don't think she'll ever change, but people surprise you sometimes. They smile tentatively. Anyway, Bliss sighs. This is not what you're here for. We need to focus on the reboot. I'm sure Seraphine told you, but everything is ready. Bliss gestures to 2 couches with straps, freshly built connectors, and a bundle of wires at one end. I hope it will be comfortable for you both. Where's Flint? I was just getting some air. Flint leans in the open doorway, watching you both. Their pale face looks even more drained of color than usual. Flint comes inside the shop and nods to you. Let's do this. They take a shaky breath. I'm ready. Flint and Bliss go silent, and the sound of the crowds outside filters gently into the room, mixing with the whine of the air cycler and the hum of the terminals. There's not much more to say. Bliss looks at you both. Okay, they pause. Let's begin. Bliss helps you and Flint into your couches. You settle there and slide your arms and legs under the straps that will keep you in place. The connector, with its thick bundle of wires, waves above your head. It is hard not to feel exposed lying here on your back, anticipating what is to come. It is even harder when the memory of waking up to this very same ceiling, with its bundles of dangling tech and scratched plating, forces itself into your mind. You have been here before. Last time, you woke up to fear and panic, woke to a desperate escape and a shattered mind. A reboot interrupted. The thought sets you trembling. But then, staring up at the same ceiling, the trembling dissipates. After all, you are back here now. That means you survived this crisis, grew from it. You took the hit and bounced back, unbeaten. We'll get there. Bliss's face floats into your vision. We'll get. Bliss smiles. How about you, Flint? You turn your head to see Flint lying beside you, stiff and still. They manage a tight-lipped nod. Looking at Flint staring up at the ceiling, like you were a moment ago, you feel a rush of sympathy. After all, they haven't faced this before like you have. They are stepping into a future they cannot see. You have been here before. Now you are just completing the journey. Reach out to Flint. You raise an arm, reaching across the gap between the couches, and your hand touches Flint's. They do not look at you, but they grip your fingers in theirs tightly. Flint's fingers feel different to human fingers. The thick vinyl skin, the repair patches, the pressure of the metal skeleton beneath. You know this is what your touch feels like too, and that recognition is like a connection being made. You close your eyes and feel something flowing between the two of you. A solidarity so embodied that it reverberates within you. I'm connecting you to the terminal. Bliss's voice already feels distant, lost in the noise. You feel the cold click of the connector, the sense of flowing data. I'll be here when you wake up. In the dark, you feel restless. You shuffle your fingers, adjust your position against the couch. It takes you a moment to notice the sound has gone, the rumble of the crowds, the hum of the machines. This detail unsettles you, and so you search for reassurance. You think of Bliss's words, I'll be here when you wake up. You focus on them, on the possibility of waking up, of being somehow renewed. But what would that renewal look like? Your eyes blinking into the lights of Flicker Row. Bliss, Seraphim, and a renewed Flint beside you. But what then? Travel. A line stretching out on a screen, a vector leading you ever onwards. Why stop now? But how far does this line stretch? What does it encompass? Somewhere else. The belt is just an edge, a stopping off point, a little more. A line could be drawn as far as anyone could imagine out there. Why not? The vector does not always know its end. But what to imagine? The distances are so far that your ability to perceive them fails. If this is your future, do you really want it to be the fiction of an escape, or something true, something known? There are paths right in front of you. Their apparent nature makes you focus on them. This soft curve of rocks bridging the edge of the system and space beyond. There is enough here for a lifetime, maybe more, emerging in the shadow of the collapse. But where does the vector terminate? Ginny in Helium Gate. There's a quiet at the edge of the belt, the kind that would soothe you now, after all the noise of your struggle. There is so much more of the past than there is of the future. It is material, real, and defines the shape of what is to come. Junie knows how to gather it up, to draw it out and weave it into a map. An image, the scanner chirps, its tiny noise indicating the location of a vast wreck. Junie studies the plans, a faint smile on her face. Soon you'll delve into this wreck and come up with fistfuls of memory and history. With it, you will build a future. There is a solidity in that, one which you feel in your chest, an understanding of your place in time, the satisfaction of finding your role within that. Give me a second. I see, so this is when I wake up here. But what would that renewal look like? I thought I was imagining this. Your eyes flicking into the lights of Flicker Row. Bliss surfing, a renewed flint beside you. But what then? Okay. So it all went well, the reboot, I guess. The satisfaction. Then you feel it. The insistent pulling of a thread. The unraveling of your very self. The reboot comes on slow, an icy seeping into your mind. Okay, so I was imagining that. Little pieces of you flake off into the flow, fading with distance. You hear a voice, Bliss's voice, so far away now. You reach for it, stretch your every sense towards its familiar warmth. I'm starting the reboot. It is a whisper into the wind, pulled away from you the moment it is spoken. See you on the other side. All of a sudden, you wish you could make it stop. The incessant entropy of time, the tumbling of rocks through space, getting further apart every cycle, disappearing into the vacuum ahead. The decay of cells, the degradation of cold, the corrosion and rot and rust. You wish in this moment to freeze it all, so you might hang onto it, preserve the warmth, the light, the softness at the heart of things. This thought grips you, tears into you like fear. You feel the ice creeping in and know that everything will be lost. If not now, then mere moments away. But then you feel it, impossibly, Seraphim's coin, worn, smooth by worry, turning in your hand. Time has been pressed into that coin by hands, by fingers. It is a near infinite record of transient torches, each one shaping it in some small way. It is worn and worthless. It is bent and broken, and is beautiful in all of those things. And so you press your thumb against it, your crooked, calloused thumb, again and again, because you are a broken thing, and you have nothing left but that brokenness and the beauty that shines through it. And then, somewhere nearby, a button is pressed, and all at once, one thing ends and something new begins. So I think the reboot went well. Oh. A jump over the age game, created, designed, and written by Gareth, Damien Martin. Absolute legends, all of these guys. These three right here, and everyone else. But Gareth, Gilliam, and Amos. They're super cool, man. Skip. Oof. That's it. Let me see where it puts me. where I can do the reboot. Yeah. I honestly like this universe that they've created. I'm following it for all the games from now on. I don't care what it is. It could be FPS, it could be a platformer, it could be a card game, it could be a dice game. I know I'm playing it. I loved it. I'm so glad it's over, but at the same time, I wish there was something else to play.